Boom.
Get that
I
together.
might have waited too
What?
Ronaldo froze up a little bit.
long. I see me and my internet gonna fight today.
Oh boy,
I tell you, boy.
Tony!
It's a constant struggle, boy.
He about to throw it into the pool.
No, it's so frustrating, man. It's so frustrating. You know, it's like, dude, like I'm literally sitting.
Uh-oh.
He's gonna get mad. Let's you know, Raw right now. He's gonna get mad.
Oh Lord. Yes.
Upstairs and I let that. Here we go.
We done all had our moments. Like the other night was mine. Like the other night, night was mine.
Hey,
I could get my shit together for nothing.
Aaron just said no day.
They ain't working out.
They ain't gonna come in. They ain't gonna come in later, y'all. We told him to come in once he punch out.
Aaron, but he's on his way.
He on his way, man. Once he punch out, man, they ain't gonna jump on in, man.
What's up, people? What's going on, man? No, Smith, I ain't got no dial up. You know me better than that, dog.
You got that
Aaron comes up no day.
Bro.
Y'all crazy, man.
How you got a fiber connection a room over and your internet struggling? But you
I'm
already
in
know
the room with mine, and y'all saw what I dealt with the other night. My jump right there.
Dude, you just don't want to plug in for some reason.
No, I got the Ethernet cord, Kevin.
I can't comment on that.
Because the one I bought was that damn was 8 foot. So I'm gonna go back and get a long one.
Yeah, I'm finna go and drop the money and get the night hot dog. So what? You got an 8 foot? So what?
That's what I'm saying. What does that matter? Oh my God.
From where that is from right now, it's gonna be stretching it. It's gonna be. I ain't finna move no closer. I don't want to be up on my TV like this.
I tell you, some of y'all.
What's up, people?
Look, man, what's going on, man? We're glad y'all came back in tonight. Y'all know we was gonna come in. We want to talk a little bit. You already know what we're talking about.
Yes, sir.
So I don't think we even have to ask that question. Why am I getting the echo today? Is it just me on my side
today? I think so. I don't hear echo on this side.
Okay, I can deal with it. It ain't gonna bother me.
Did you share this to YouTube too?
Yeah, both of them check marked and ready to ride. Okay. And I try to go in there and play with the comments too, so we can do it.
Aaron said the YouTube is not working. It's not on.
It says it's checked.
Okay.
We'll check it out.
We'll get to it.
It does that. It'll do that sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the little check mark up there saying it's ready to ride. So I don't know. Anyway, man, look, we came to y'all tonight, man. We promise you we're not gonna keep y'all long, but we know everybody got something to say about about the events of the day. First of all, I'm gonna start off a little bit. I'm gonna pass it off to Tuck, let him get his first initial thoughts out. Then let Ben get his initial thoughts out. Then if y'all got questions or anything y'all want to ask, we'll talk about it. The Big Ten and the Pac-12 have always been in kind of cahoots together. If y'all didn't know that, it's kind of been the whole situation. So once the Big Ten kind of bagged out, the Pac-12 is always looking for a partner. Nothing that happened today is surprising. We've already known that the ACC and the SEC have been partnering with each other. And now, if I don't know if you know it, within the last 20 minutes, the Big 12 has confirmed they're trying to play the season, which was the big thing that they wanted to actually talk about, that they needed to have happen for more of any kind of season to happen.
Right.
I have my own personal thoughts about a lot of it. I'm not gonna get into it first. I'm gonna see how it goes, but y'all know how I am. I've been we've been going back and forth, knowing if there was gonna be not gonna be a season, this and that and this, with the players that want to play and this and that and this. And there's so many different layers that we could get into. That we'll probably get into in the next 30 minutes about playing or not playing. So with that being said, I'm just gonna pass it off to Tuck first and let Tuck get his thoughts off, because he might say something that might that might pique my interest. But I'm on a whole nother side of it than most. I think it's good to have a difference of opinion, which we do. So go ahead, sir. Tell me about your thoughts from the day of the events that went down.
Pretty much you nailed it. We all knew. There was a little glimmer of hope from people once they said the president hadn't officially said that they were going to cancel the season. It was I was like, man, why are they getting these people's hopes up? It was just a straw poll at first to see where everybody stood. Again, when we found out today, it wasn't shocking, it wasn't surprising. Pac-12 wasn't shocking or surprising.
No.
Now, when we as we continue to move forward, my initial thoughts are, they're like, well, what, the SEC and the ACC and the Big 12 have not said anything. One reason is they don't have to. I believe the Big 10 wanted to jump ahead and get ahead of everything. Same thing with Pac-12. As of right now, I still believe that at this point in the moment in time, I still don't think they're going to play. However, I do think now, if anything, the SEC might, and SEC, ACC, and Big 12, what they might do is push it towards October. Okay, this is. I think they're trying to get a lot of data as far as the key is being on campus and trying to see who gets sick and whatever. Something might happen. We know, Renard. I know. But in conclusion, I still don't think that there will be a season this year from the SEC or the ACC and the Big 12. They will. I think September 15th is the big day. The middle of September. I believe that's when they will finally make their final decision on playing or not. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're just wasting time. I think they're just trying to make sure that they did their due diligence, I guess you could say. Like, we all know it hurts. Well, it's not just, it hurts me to say we're not playing football.
Right.
But I'm just looking where the tea leaves are going. We're not playing football, guys. I really don't think we're going to play football. For one, the Big Ten makes the most money in college football. If we don't play without the Big Ten, so how can they say you're going to lead the Big Ten out of the national championship picture?
Well, the Big Ten took themselves out, though.
But that doesn't mean anything. That just takes away all. You took a whole quadrant.
First of all, hold on. First of all, Ben, this is Tuck time. Stop interrupting.
I'm sorry. My bad.
Then you get your turn. Then we'll come back together.
Yeah, we'll come back together. Okay. Sharing is caring, Ben. But So what I'm saying was, Big Ten is the most profitable conference in all of sports in the Power 5. You're not going to leave them out of a college national championship discussion. Period. You're not going to do that. Okay, so right now, I think it's the SEC. I think the ACC and the Big 12. I think right now it's all about attorneys. Me and Renard said this in the last episode. It's all about attorneys right now. The attorneys are writing all this stuff up, trying to make sure they dot their I's, cross their T's, and all wrong, and all that good stuff.
Nice.
So that's what they're doing. They're trying to figure out what they can do and what they can't do. They just really want to make sure that when it comes to football, if we can play, this is what we can do. If we don't play football, this is what they can't do. That's all I got for right now. That's just my opinion right now as it stands today.
And I just got a text. Somebody asked me about Dave. I told y'all Dave is finishing up work. He'll be on here again before if we get off. Like I said, we're not gonna be on here long. This ain't gonna be no long drawn out show tonight because 9 times out of 10 we're gonna do another one this week. So, but Ben, sir, I'm gonna let you go for your initial thoughts, and then we'll take it from there.
My initial thoughts is I'm leaning towards the opposite of Tuck. I'm leaning more towards the positive end by the Big 12 finally coming out and saying, look, basically they sent the same message that the ACC and the SEC said. Even though I know some people may think that it's prolonging the situation, but me personally, I just feel like if they were all wanted to just go ahead and end this, they were going to do it. I mean, they don't have you have so many people on one end, like, this is not right. Y'all only caring about money. Y'all not caring about these guys. So they'll have every bit of support if they wanted to just go ahead and end it all together. Of course, the fans, we're going to be mad, but the majority of the people are going to go along with it. And as far as September goes, the ACC was supposed to start on Labor Day weekend, or that Monday after. They were throwing around games for that date for the Monday after. So I feel like if they push that back, then maybe my panic meter may finally rise up. If they come back and say, okay, look, we're not gonna do the 5th, 12th, we're gonna push it up, kick it all the way down the road to the 26th, then maybe then at that point, my meter will click on like, okay, because at that point they're gonna have almost a full month of the kids being on campus. So they're gonna have all the data that they need to know. And then you'll know if players test positive. Because if you're talking about you bringing the kids back all this weekend and this week, if a bunch of players start popping up positive, everything we're saying, it doesn't matter. Because we know that if a bunch of players start popping up positive within the next 2 weeks, this whole thing is going to get shut down anyway, because that's going to prove everybody's point that, they're not going to self-contain. They're going to interact with the kids, and there's going to be totally no way for us to do this. So I guess maybe the coach's message needs to be, look, if y'all want to do this, y'all have got to do exactly what we tell you that you have to do. Because anything outside of that, because like Tuck has said on the last show, 2 people get it and they go to practice, it's just going to be a snowball effect that none of us want. So ultimately, right now, I'm still holding out hope. I'm still being positive about the whole thing because, like I said, the Big 12 could have easily said, you know what, we ain't going to ride with it. We done too, and called it a day. And as far as the point about Ohio State, hey, man, look, the Big Ten took themselves out of the game. So as far as them talking about, as far as that, they won't be able to play for a championship, that was their choice. So they can't come back and say, hey, that's not right. Well, y'all the ones that chose to stop playing. If the season goes on, that was their choice to stop playing.
The school president's choice. It wasn't the
well, that's what I mean. Well, that's what I mean.
So you, like I said, you can't put it all on the athletic department for not taking them out. The school said they don't want them to play.
Right. But I'm saying, but you can't come back later and say, well, you can't come back later and say, well, y'all all chose, or y'all collectively, whoever said it from your conference said you weren't going to play. So you can't come back later and cry about it after.
No, they can, and they will.
And it's going to fall on their feet.
Ohio State had a very stacked team coming back.
Oh, yeah, they probably was going to be in the playoffs.
Penn State had a very good team coming back.
Michigan wasn't going.
Oh, we ain't talking about Michigan. No, not at all. But I was going to say is, they have the argument. They do. Even if those votes fail, how many is in the Big Ten? 11? So
11.
Or is it? No, it's 13.
10.
Yeah, I think 13.
No, it ain't 10.
No, it ain't 10. It's 13.
It's 13. They just consider themselves the Big 10.
It's 10.
Right.
So
they didn't want to change their name.
If you had if you had 7 presidents vote yay and you had 6 presidents vote nay, yay and nay, between it was split.
Right.
So how can you fault them for all the other 7 people, especially teams like Iowa or Northwestern,
And Iowa was one of the teams that voted against it.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you can't. That's why I'm saying the Big Ten is going to have. They have a right to say something.
Right.
I mean, just like Nebraska, it just. Okay. Mr.
Aaron told us this was our year.
Look, okay. In all honesty, I hope it was.
I hope this was gonna be the one.
I
But
really do. Because I can't stand Ohio State. But
none
Okay.
of.
but anyway.
What you got, Noah?
So like I said, I do want to hear what Renard goes on because like I said, it's hit and miss. I mean, right now, I'm saying no.
Oh, well, hold on. One small one. On a scale of 1 to 10, where you at, sir?
As far as playing the season,
Right. On
I'm
a scale of 1 to 10.
I'm at a 9 that we're not playing this year.
Okay. I'm at a 7 that we will play. But
Oh yeah.
I know.
So right now the ACC is trying to play after Labor Day.
That was the original schedule. They hadn't changed the schedule.
So what's their current schedule now?
It was the 12th. It was like the 12th.
It was the 12th. It was like the 12th.
Okay.
Second
weekend in September. Yeah.
So the ACC is what, the 26th?
26th.
Right.
So
right.
If
That's
the ACC pushes it back to the 26th, then you'll get nervous.
that. I just said that. That'll be that'll make me start. That'll make me start being a little more alarmed.
So a 2-week difference will make you nervous.
Yeah, because now at that point it's like, because I mean, we've already known what the SEC was going to do, and you've known what the ACC was going to do. So obviously, if they don't go out there and play and they push it back, then it may fall into your point of they're going to keep trying to push it down the road as much as they can before they just say, "All right, we done."
Let me start with that point. I think right now, when you get into the ACC, SEC, Big 12, whatever, I think you're going to see some more shuffling if it all kind of works out. If they all going to come to one big agreement, then they might end up saying, like Tucker already saying, like push it back to October. September 26th is basically October. Right. I wouldn't say look at doom and gloom if it goes there. I would say look at it as maybe they're talking more, and Greg Sankey and whoever else can say, look, this was our reasoning for doing this. Because he already came out and said when he set the SEC schedule back, hey, we set it back because basically we're trying to see what's going to happen with the first month of kids on campus.
Right.
And so it's like, I wouldn't call it doom and gloom. Now, well. Well, y'all said a lot.
Hey man,
no. You taking it the wrong way. You taking it the wrong way.
No. I'm saying, hey man, we had a lot to say, man.
I don't even know where to start, honestly.
Start the upper left hand corner. You got it.
Yeah. So number one, let me address the Big Ten and the Pac-12. Okay. The Big Ten are cowards. The Pac-12 never damn mattered outside of Oregon, and that was the only team I was really worried about. Now that's no disrespect to the other teams in the Pac-12. True. I'm just saying it just came down to this point where the Pac-12 doesn't have that leg to stand on, not because they don't play football, but because there's a lot of things right now that are intertwined, a lot. And I think this is what really kind of, for lack of better words, just makes me frustrated is that you have people, and I think I said it on social media today, was like, some of y'all just reading headlines and not understanding what's really going on. So let's address what's really going on with the Big Ten for 2 seconds, and then we'll move on to a couple other things. The Big Ten, and people say, what's changed? What's changed? Well, one big thing that has been confirmed that's changed was the story by Ross Dellinger about the complications with the heart from COVID. That was one big thing that changed. The other thing you have to understand is that just like right now, you can put 20 doctors in one room and you're going to get 60 on one side and 40 off the back. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to get one over here, you're going to get one over there. That's just kind of what it is. So when we have all that going on, what really surprised me, the commissioner of the MAC came on there and said unequivocally 100% that our board was saying, like, we don't need this, we don't need to do that. I really think a lot of it comes down to not even COVID. This comes down to one word, people: liability. All day, every day, 6,000 times a week. It's whether or not that conference, that school wants to deal with being liable for what happened. And most of them honestly don't want to deal with that because you have such a wide range of issues. So that study was used by the Pac-12. It was used by the Big Ten as far as like what happened to each and every one of them. COVID-19 is a big thing. It's a huge thing. Y'all know I'm high at risk for COVID-19 because of the transplant. But let's be real about this for 1 second, Big Ten. Let me just concentrate on you for a second. So let me get this straight. June 1st come around when we were still in the height of it, coming right off Memorial Day. You can bring these folks back to the campus. You can test them then and get them to start their involuntary workouts. When it was still at the height, you let these boys train, sweat, do all this stuff, do everything that's going on. What has changed between March and now with COVID? Have we flattened the curve anywhere for real? No. What we happened is we got more bolder to get back out in these streets because since it wasn't just like transmitting the way we thought, then people all of a sudden like, oh, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Hey, that's cool. If that's what you want to do, do it. But my point I've been trying to figure out is this, Big Ten, and this goes for the rest of the schools too. So 13 out of 14 of your schools can come on campus. 30,000 students per school, basically, whatever, rounded up, can be on campus. Johnny can go to class. Johnny can eat in the cafeteria. Johnny can go to the rec. Johnny can go to the student center. Johnny can go to the club. Johnny can stay in a dorm with roommates. But when it comes down to playing football, no, we can't do that because we can't protect them. Hold up, wait a minute. Stop 2 seconds. Let me just think about this for a minute. And there was a guy on the show. I can't even remember which show I was watching because Lord knows I watch and listen to all of them because I know me. I can be very aggressive in my stance. So sometimes I'm that person. I will listen to an opposite view just to make sure that I'm not being Mr. Stubborn. The guy said, just wait. This was 2 months ago. He said they're going to let them kids come on campus and they're going to cancel football. Now, what did a lot of schools do this past weekend?
Move-in day.
Move-in day. So guess what they
got coming this weekend.
What the school about to get from these people? Tuition. Oh, so I'm going to avoid the risk of a football season, but I'm still going to get this tuition. All I'm asking is just make that part make sense. And then the other big issue is this, and we've talked about it. The fear of an organization of these athletes.
Pac-12.
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 With that. Not everybody else is coming around. And it's just like, I don't get where all this is coming from now. All of a sudden now you're talking to your doctors over the last week, but you weren't talking to them when the students, not when the students came, but when the athletes first came back to the campus. So we was cool with it all this time for going almost through 2 months of practice and going through all this tests and spending all this money. But now when the pressure's really on, we're going to bag back. So it's not just that. I'm not just sitting there saying we got to play football. All I'm saying is ask you just to make it make sense. Right. Make it make sense to us. Because I hear every single side of it. And then you're going to talk about the spring. Man, look. Dismiss me with the spring because I ain't gonna be no Justin Fields, ain't gonna be no Trevor Lawrence, ain't gonna be nobody with a first or second round grade, or probably a third round grade. Gonna think about playing. So what are we doing? So you letting these people, you letting students back on campus. You got all this stuff going on, and we've already saying that COVID's not going anywhere. I'm not dismissing anyone's health. I want football just as bad as anybody else, but I want to make sure it's safe. Right. But it's the other factors to me. To me, it's not the things on the surface, because see, that's where we were getting messed up at. It's not the things on the surface, it's the things behind the scene. Like I get people arguing with me about money. And I'm like, you don't really understand about the money or the finances of how these schools really work. And I don't know, we can just shut everything down and do what? Colleges.
It ain't that simple.
I said it last podcast, people. Colleges is a business. Stop comparing college to what's going on in high school, middle school, anywhere else. We need these fees. We need this revenue. We need this TV money. We need all this stuff to make it to make it work. I just saw the Big Ten was collapsing, and I knew the SEC and the ACC came out with their statements today with a bunch of words, basically saying that we standing pat to where we been for the past whenever.
Right.
We trying to play, we trying to do what we need to do, but it's that part of it is the part that continues to bother me. It's just like, and we still got students moving in, we got students on campus, but y'all don't want to play football. I heard one person say they can be sweating all over each other. I said, ma'am, they're going to be tested way
Twice
more
a week, more
than what they would be as a student. I mean, as just a regular student. I said, let me ask you something. If I'm just going to throw a name, if I'm Jalen Waddle, you think if we ain't got football, I'm just going to stay in school? No, because I'm gonna tell you what train ain't gonna stop. That's the N
and the F and the L. So that spring crap, you can cancel it. You can just miss that spring crap.
You can go ahead and hang that up, man, because it's just not gonna happen, guys. I mean, and if it does happen, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be watered down. I mean, I want to see football anytime, but at some point we had to get the schedule back on track because the NFL has proven that they're not stopping. When you type in college football headlines, you get COVID-19, COVID, Big Ten. Are they gonna play? Oh no, we got all these COVID concerns. This many teams are tested. Type in NFL headlines. Is the Packers gonna win the division?
Fantasy football stuff is out. But you know, Renard, let me ask you a question. To your point about the spring, let me ask you this. And they say that they worrying about the players' safety and all that stuff. Like you just said, the NFL is not going to change their timetable.
Now something dramatic has to happen.
So you want these guys to possibly play in February and March, be done, I guess, in end of March, first part of April, and you think that they're going to be able to turn back around and be ready to play in the NFL, put their bodies through that's no break. And there is no break in it because OTAs and stuff starts at the end of May, first part of June.
We understand that everything is fluid. We understand that everything is fluid. You know, we get that. I understand that, but it's almost to the point of what's happening, Gardner. Mr. Gardner's in the house. So I don't have an issue with. But it's what we're talking about right now.
Okay,
we're talking about
before, like I said, before Dave gets in and says his words. I just want to say, you've been knowing about this since March, right? So,
right.
Why have y'all not been planning from day one? Or well, let's get into. Let's say it happened for a month after March Madness happened, and this is why. I believe that the schools are going to dissolve away from the NCAA. We talked about that too. This is the reason why you need a college football commissioner. You need a college football commissioner because after they canceled March Madness, somebody should have been like, bing, hey,
football
maybe we need to have a plan just
for football.
In case this thing lasts until August.
And Tuck, I really think they did. I put it like this. I think there were meetings. I think there were some type of like preliminary talk, but like you said, I don't think they was even planning because I don't think they knew where it was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people don't want to talk about what the NBA and everybody is doing, but I think that kind of gave college football a not a green light, a yellow light. It gave them a yellow light to say, "Oh, okay, we can start tinkering with everything over the past and get things ready and get things going." So it's that I want to hear more from the audience, man. I want to hear what they thinking and what they questions and what they got, because to me that's just crazy. Once we let Dave chime in, Dave, you good, sir?
What up, bro? I'm good now. I'm good. What's up, bro?
Well, we had just chimed in, man. We just gave everybody some time to talk about the events of the day, and about the breaking news, about the Big 12 saying they planning on moving forward, and just kind of think, what's your overall thoughts? Because we haven't even touched on Now, even though it's not college or whatever, we haven't even touched on what happened with Vestavia High School. With them already basically getting ready to forfeit their first 2 games, and I know with your son going to minor, and just this whole thing is just an effect on you. So, what's your feelings about the subject?
As far as on the high school level, again, like I said last show, man, I just think there should have been and should be some form of testing with that. I still don't know what the fan restriction is going to look like. Still a lot of unknowns that they haven't addressed on that front. As far as the Big Ten, I was kind of listening to a friend of mine tonight. He was talking about how the doctors and things got involved, and they was talking about the players having some
the heart issue stuff.
The heart issue stuff, and they would probably live. From what he was telling me was that they would probably live a normal life, but maybe sports might be out the picture for them because of that. But again, like I said, I didn't read that. That was just something that I was on a conversation before I got home. But man, I really don't know, man. I think the Big 12, SEC, and ACC is going to try to push forward, but it still wouldn't surprise me if they pull the plug last minute. And again, like we talked this morning about having a season in the spring. Now you're asking kids to play over 20-something games in a year. I don't see that will happen either. So that's just kind of where I'm at with it, man. Just kind of day by day, like everybody else. But like you said, I'd like to hear from the audience to see if they have anything that they want to chime in with.
Well, I see Chris asked about what happened with Vestavia.
Oh, yeah, I was about to respond. Go ahead. You good.
Vestavia, basically, a lot of the coaches and players, their first test was back in June, July, and they had one person test positive, and over the last testing that they've had a lot of students. I don't know if it was school testing or just individual testing, because I know most schools is not a mandate, but they had some people test positive, and basically they are forfeiting their first 2 games because of where they're going to be quarantined and where they are now. So everybody is still scheduled to play, but it's just one of those things that now you got that school, you got what happened with Aniana. It's just really weird that the fact that we're playing high school football that doesn't even have a testing protocol in place
at all. They ain't quarantined. They literally going to practice days. They're going to practice and going home to their families.
So, and I mean, it's not, to me, it's not even so much about that part of it. It's just like, because the AHSAA, excuse me, I don't know why I was having trouble saying that. I mean, basically,
ass. Right. You want to say ass?
Right.
Ass.
They left the responsibility up to the school, and you saw Birmingham City schools push back the start of their school year to after Labor Day. It's just like Tuck said before, like you just have to keep looking at stuff. Who gonna be the first person to pull the plug? And I hope nobody does it. I want Lil Dave to have his senior year.
Yes.
If nothing else, let's get some games in. Let's get some more film. Let's get something on. But dude, I'm just not 100% confident these folks are gonna do it. And so somebody sent a text to me and said something about, well, what about the money with the NFL or something else? Look, the administrators of college don't get a dime. Okay, the difference in the NFL is everyone is invested.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If I'm a player, I got to get paid. If I'm an owner, I need that revenue.
Right.
Look,
in colleges, the players ain't getting paid, supposedly. And then the actual presidents are not getting money off of it. They get their own salary. So it's different when you are investing and it's your money.
Because so Renard, like to your point about the NFL, like Odell was a prime example. He was doing all that barking. NFL don't care about us and all this. And then it was like, "Are you gonna report to camp?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm reporting to camp." So it's like, because he knows that if he don't go to camp, he ain't gonna get his money. So he's like, "Look, I might say all this rah-rah, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna be in camp and I'm gonna get my bonuses and I'm gonna get my break."
And the difference with the NFL is that it's a job, it's a business, a company, just like we all go to. Like, so their outlook is going to be different than your colleges and things of that nature. So yeah.
What's up, Damien? Mr. Jocks 94.5 producer. Look, he done chimed in. Mr. Mitchell. But Spencer was saying, my brother said our stadium is limited to 50% capacity, which, everybody's kind of making their own rules about it. And then I heard this on the show that Damian produced today when one of them was talking about it's about amateurism. Mm-hmm. That's really the big thing. And you don't really want to talk about, and that's a taboo subject that they don't want to talk about with college. I mean, they talk about it. We got the NIL, the name, image, and likeness. We got all this stuff that's coming down the line with them trying to unionize and all this and all that. But my biggest thing is going to continue to be, we can put 30,000 students on the campus, but we can't play football. And then what you think gonna happen to some of these kids, man? If you tell them, yeah, you can still be a student and we'll see you in the spring, they're gonna be like,
yeah, right, okay.
So you rather them go home? You rather them go home and don't have no rules, or you want to keep them on campus?
But you still have to go to school, though. I mean, to be eligible, even if we do push to the spring, you still gotta go to class to be eligible in the spring if they want to do this. So that's what a lot of people don't understand. I've seen a lot of people say, oh, they're going to go home. They're going to get it. Like Nick Saban, Big Papa Nick Saban even said that was one of his quotes. Well, they're safer here. They don't go. All right, bro. Okay, we understand that them practicing or doing whatever. So the NCAA going to have to make some kind of rules or something to do whatever. But they're still going to be on campus. If you want to test your players, you can still test your players, I presume.
But some of them folks going to go home, dog.
Yeah, but some
they're going to go home.
They ain't going to be able to play, though.
But to not play, it has to be a cumulative eligibility thing. It can't just be that particular semester.
Yeah, well, actually you have to pass those semester grades to play in the spring, because it's just like bowl games. For example, if you don't pass your semester, you can't play in that bowl game.
But what if I'm withdrawing before the semester starts?
Well, then I think I gotta see how that contract is.
Right.
Scholarship. Because some people got 3 years. That's underlined. That's more shit we got to talk about later on.
Because most of them are 1 year.
Most of them 1 year. Some of them 2, 3, 4.
Right.
That's a whole nother plane that we don't have time to talk about tonight.
Yeah, we're not going there tonight.
So it depends on what the scholarship says. If their scholarship says, whatever it does, I'm pretty sure it's going to be that cumulative, like they said, all together, the cumulative GPA, if you pass those classes,
right,
going into the spring, you still got to go to class. That's the thing. You still have to pass. I mean, you can't take 12. I think 12 hours is full time still, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't take. You can take 16 just in case you drop a class and just continue to graduate. But most of these kids are gonna take 12. So if you fail a class, you're not gonna play in that bowl game. That's what the rule was for the bowl game. You're not gonna play in that bowl game. You have to pass the class. So I'm pretty sure you got to go to class or do virtual learning. But all those guys are not doing virtual learning. So
and you know what? I think a lot of them, they may not necessarily be talking about the freshmen and sophomores, more so as they probably talking about the juniors and seniors. You know what I'm saying? Because those guys, if you tell them like pretty much what came out by Justin Fields, he's done. Like if they cancel their season, which they've done, he's done. He's not gonna. He's gonna go to the draft. That's it.
Trevor Lawrence done. Justin Fields,
he's gonna be done like those. So I think those are the guys more so that they might be talking about. Those, not just those, because we know they're gonna get drafted, but maybe the juniors that's teetering the line, they still might just say, the hell with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going back home, or I'm gonna go train or whatever else, whatever else they're gonna do. But the freshmen and sophomores, I think they know they pretty much pretty much did.
But I think the biggest thing when I say withdraw, I mean withdraw from physical on campus. Of course, there still be more virtual learning. But still, even with them in a virtual environment, it's still better for them to be on campus. Just like a lot of the players are kind of saying, "Look, man, if I go home, I can't guarantee what's gonna happen." But you asking a football player to be a normal college student when they normal, and I don't mean class wise for somebody to say something.
So, but ain't they normal from February from January through the spring?
Man,
not really, because they still going weight. Not with workouts on weight, baby. Not really.
Okay, then. So you just made my point right there, Ben. You still got to go to spring practice. You still got to go all the other stuff. What's the difference?
I guess the big thing
you,
to me.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you flip it, let's say if you do play in the spring, it's still stupid. But if you flip it,
It's
if
very
you
stupid.
flip it, let's say fall. This fall is gonna be next year spring. It's still the same thing. It's just flipped. That's the only difference. I on record, I'm saying this is dumb for them to play in the spring because there's no way in hell that a kid needs to play up to 32 football games within a calendar year.
Right. Because like you say, because then if you go that route, what you gonna do in the fall again?
I think the word of the pandemic that I think I used it first. I think I know Tuck has used it, and Dave too. Is everything is fluid, and I think we just have to take the information that we get right now. And I know there's some other things that they're working on, and just kind of focus on that. But that thing just kind of threw me off. I'm not saying that it's safe for them to play football. I'm not saying it's not safe for them to play football. But it's like I said, it's just very ironic to me that we're gonna have this big campus move in. We're gonna have all this stuff going on. 13 out of 14 schools going in the Big Ten are going full on, and we look up and now we're talking about other things. So it's like, so I can have 30,000 kids on campus, well, in the campus area, and they're gonna party, they're gonna do this, you're gonna do all that. But now the tuition is due. Oh, we can go ahead and cancel the football season. We're not gonna play this year. So what we gonna do now?
And basketball, because I mean, I know because we discussing football, but they put into effect and said canceling all fall sports. So like that's basketball too.
Well, basketball is a winter. Winter.
It's considered winter.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. I'm about to say because I'm like, oh, it's considered winter. Okay.
It's considered a winter sport.
Let me ask this question.
Okay.
So the students, I know my daughter had to be tested, and I don't know if it's just because of ban, but I don't know. I think I want to think that it's for all students. So the other campuses that open up, that they say that the kids had to be tested prior to admission.
South Alabama does. I know that for sure because D had to go get tested. He actually went and got tested yesterday, so he had to go get tested. Like I said, he moves in. Him and my dad, they're going down Saturday, so he went and got tested yesterday.
Okay, so if they test negative, that means they can move in, right?
Right.
Okay, and so that means that everybody that's moving in is negative. Right.
If they went and got tested.
If that's a
mandate,
a mandate for them to get tested on where they can move in is if they negative, right? So if they negative and my roommate negative and my roommate, my suite mates are negative and the room next to that is negative and the whole campus is negative, then they feel like it would be safe for them to come back, right?
See, Christian said his daughter went to Troy and she didn't have to get tested.
See now that's the problem because if everybody's negative, it has to come back with a negative test. Football players included on every campus. This is a blanket policy. Then now we're playing negative on negative. So,
right,
I think it would be okay. Now, since Chris' daughter didn't have to be tested before she went back, I think kind of like we talked on last show. Tuck was talking about the colleges may not have a bubble, but I think they bust a bubble when they allow people to come back. That's so if you're gonna have that, then I feel two ways. If you're not gonna have testing, then don't play. But if you're not gonna have testing and you're gonna have kids come back to campus, then you don't really give a damn anyway. So
and Dave, on to that point, if I remember right, what I heard last week was that, of course, Alabama students have to present proof that they've been tested.
Right,
but not necessarily tested there. So they wanted them to test there, but they have to have proof that they were tested.
Right. We had to go through LabCorp. Luckily, her primary physician, that's who they use basically inside the hospital there. And then they was able to get that. We had to send the records to A&M. They had to document it. And first of all, I'm gonna give a great shout out to Alabama A&M because I think they did an excellent job on yesterday when we went. They had the checkpoints. Everything was easy. If you did your paperwork, everything was easy.
You
And
know
so,
how
man,
we do.
yeah. So they did a fantastic job on that. But my thing is, if everybody's negative, man, I don't see a problem. But again, when you're letting all these kids on campus and they going to Walmart and to the club and everywhere else, and you,
Let me
And see,
let me let me,
Raymond is in North Carolina, and he said that his daughter they weren't tested. He said it's went
they
to
went
North
to
Carolina Central.
yeah.
North Carolina Central.
Let me ask a question to the group. Here's my thing, and I'm not even talking about football or anything like that. When we have these people do the test, just like in the NBA bubble, you know, when you come in, you have to be quarantined for so many days, but you take a test every day because you know you could test negative on Monday and test positive on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So is this one test really the most? No, I'm sorry. Is this one test the most viable reason or the best thing to do? Because there's no plan for any other test.
Well, you mean for just the regular students? Because the
Yeah,
teams are
I'm
okay
talking
for the
about
regular
regular
students.
students. No, I
Regular
know
students.
where the teams are at. I mean, I
Yeah.
know what they at, but I'm just saying for like a regular student, like if I test negative on Monday, but I test positive on Thursday, what's the good of it? If you're only gonna do it one time, I guess that's my question.
Yeah, because if they test negative on Monday, they ain't finna go back and get tested again. You know how
Right.
that go. I'm negative. I'm good. You know how that go. I'm negative. I'm good. So you already know.
So that was my question to the group. Is like, how y'all? I mean, do y'all just feel like that's all they can do is just test that one time and just be done with it, or
you're going to after that first initial test, what it needs to happen? If you're doing 2 tests a week, that first initial test needs to be your buffer. Go through a couple of days to get another test, and that's what you're going to have to do. I don't know. Is that what they're doing now? Are they doing 2 tests a week now? Or that's what the plan was?
You talking about the players?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're still doing. I think it's different protocols per conference, but I think the SEC is still doing 2 a week. I think.
Okay.
And Nick said they can go get tested anytime they want to. So he pretty much was like they got an open window.
Yeah.
At Bama.
Like I said, I just think this.
Yeah, this is true. This is very true, Rob. Go.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's kind of it's so much to it, but like they saying that they expect cases. Well, we know we're gonna have cases. Well, that's automatic because you got 30,000 people on campus.
Right. So you know people gonna test positive.
So where are we? And I guess it still just befuddles my mind of what else besides the fact of that they were just basically scared for the liability, and they said that their doctors shook them to their core about the long-term effects of the heart thing. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. I'm not a doctor, and I did not stay in the Holiday, and I did not stay in the Holiday Inn Express last night. So no, you know, and I think it's unfortunate. I just think it's one of those things that we just. And Dave has been saying this forever. We're gonna have to live through this. So we're gonna have to find a way to live through it when it comes to football and when it comes to anything else. So just understand that, man, what we know on Monday might not be the same thing we know on Wednesday and know on Thursday. And all we can do is hope for the best. And as far as like the national championship part of it, man, look, I don't care. You want to give me 8 regular season games and just say that's it? And we just have an AP poll like 1963? Fine.
I'm fine.
I'm cool with
it. But that's what I'm saying. Like it's being. We tried to go away from that. That's why the college football playoff was supposed to be.
Right.
We're not supposed to go to polls no more. We're supposed to go to straight up play it.
We gotta play it, and that's it.
That's it. But if you leave out Ohio State, Penn State, Minnesota, even Minnesota could have had a golden year. You never know.
It's so funny. It's so funny we saying that too. It's so funny we saying that because I had somebody else asking me about the playoffs. I said, bro, they just trying to see if we can get to the damn season. They ain't even thinking. Ain't nobody even thinking about that part of it. Like they ain't even thinking about that. Let's just see if we can make it to damn kickoff. We ain't even worried about that right now.
You about no playoffs?
Playoffs?
Man, we trying to get to a game.
Just trying to get to a kickoff.
Bro, we're trying to get to a state. We're trying to get to a padded practice. Okay.
Okay.
Can we get to a padded practice first? Like, man, look, we's trying to. Ain't nobody talking about the college football playoff. I don't even care about all that. I just want to see a game because regardless what happens, now that the Big Ten and the Pac-12 are out, it's gonna be it wasn't real anyway.
Right. The asterisk word gonna start coming out. That title need to have an asterisk by it.
I don't care. all I care about is that we playing ball, and like Dave. I know Dave was watching some old videos the other day and some old games. He was just like, I just want to see one. I just want to see one.
That's it.
Matter of fact, true story. I watched the SWAC championship last night. All Southern. It was a great game too, by the way. It was a very great game.
And the other thing that the NFL got going for them, there's not going to be many new shows. There's not going to be a lot of new entertainment on your regular TV. I mean, I ain't talking about Apple TV or anything, any other streaming service that can put it out. But bottom line is, they rubbing their hand. They sitting back.
Come on, Saturday night.
Saturday at 2:30. Don't worry, we'll be right there for y'all fans that ain't got no game.
Exactly.
We'll be right there ready to go. We're gonna do whatever we can. So once all y'all fall out, we're gonna be right there to pick up the slack. Yep. So it's just one of them things, man. I don't know what to say about it. Like it's where we are. It's like everything we've been dealing with since March.
Yeah. Right.
Nobody ever thought that the NCAA tournament was gonna get canceled. When we first started this, we were like, okay, y'all gonna play SEC tournament, no fans. Okay. Oh, y'all didn't cancel that. Oh Lord,
ACC was mid-game.
Mid-game, like, hey,
they was in the layup line.
It was mid-game, like, hey, locker room.
NBA player was stretching, about to do the tip off, like,
Big Ten has started. The Big Ten has started.
Yeah,
before.
Yeah, and they were like, no, wrap it up, bro. Like, wrap it up. And that's just where we are, man. We just hoping that we get something. If we don't, then we understand. We just, we gonna do like the SEC, the ACC, and the Big 12. We gonna fight this down to the last tooth and nail.
That's it.
If nothing else, give me 2 or 3 games to analyze or something. Give me something, Jesus. But if not, hey, it's gonna be about.
It was not our turn.
I know if we don't have a season, we got a lot of show ideas. So
a whole lot.
A whole lot. So I don't know, but I saw some other comments on that. If y'all got anything else, man, or if anybody else got something, then we won't hold y'all too long tonight because I'm sure
we're gonna be back on here probably again for the end of the week. So we might as well just hold anything extra because
I just want everybody to pray for Ben. Because when this news drops that they're not playing football,
it's gonna be a problem.
I'm good. I mean, I got my NFL, so I got NFL. I'm good. I got my fantasy, so it's gonna suck.
He love NFL about as much as he do college.
It's gonna suck, but I might get the ticket. I get every San Francisco game. I can watch every game. Now I pay for that. Hell, might as well.
Somebody, please help him, Jesus, because I just don't know what I'm gonna do with him. I mean, I'm preparing myself, man. I'm sitting there researching the old game. I'm gonna go back and watch the '92. Like I'm writing stuff down as I see it come across the thing. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. Yeah, we gonna have a show about this and that. Yeah,
gonna be giving us homework. Hey, y'all, I need y'all to watch this game right here. Because we're gonna talk about it next week.
we're gonna break down this such and such national championship game on the what ifs. Like we gonna have content, but
it's got something.
Oh, it's gonna be bad.
Shit, we might have to just start talking about NFL. Shit.
Hey, shit. If it's the best, if it's the only game in town, hell, shit.
I mean, it is what it is. But while we got everybody's attention, man, make sure everybody please go subscribe once again to the YouTube channel. Please like on our Twitter accounts and our Facebook page and Instagram and YouTube especially. We definitely try to get those YouTube followers up, man. Right. The YouTube page been up just for a little while. I see Derek. I see you, big homie. I see.
Yes.
Hold on.
Well,
see that you come in on There we go.
Hey.
Okay, we back. There is because sometimes
Hey, we waited. We didn't even want to get mid sentence. We're like, we'll wait.
Good. Yeah, just wait 2 seconds. Yeah, me and that cheap ass route about to go in there and have a problem. Tuck, I'm finna go come get that Nighthawk, baby. I'm sick of it. But not yours. I'm on my own.
Oh yeah.
But we just want y'all to continue to
talk. Dave was actually talking about coming to my house and getting my Nighthawk. So.
Oh no, bro. I'm gonna get my.
I gotta get my cigars anyway. So I'll be on.
But also as Renan was saying, also
you still got
this show and the last show, they both will be up on Anchor within the next day or two. So just in case if you didn't get a chance to watch the full show, they'll be up in our original format on Anchor as well.
Yeah, and fellas, everybody that's watching, man, please share the show. You know what I'm saying? I think you can go back. I think it's a share option there, man. And like Renard said, to kind of echo him, check out the YouTube stuff because we do some other shows where it's just, maybe like a 20, 25-minute show. It's not this long. Where we probably hit a couple topics, and as this get deeper and deeper, we'll start putting more content out like that, man. But we just appreciate y'all just listening to us, through these Facebook Lives, and evidently, I guess we're gonna get a few more evidently. So we'll be back.
All right.
If y'all ain't got nothing else, man, be on the lookout for any more news. God knows we don't know what's gonna happen, but hey, we'll be here to report on it. But if that's it, man, y'all hit us up. Like I said, Twitter, YouTube, follow us, and we'll be dropping some content. We'll holler at y'all later on.
Peace.
All right.